everybody. I'm Liz Downing with Takeometrics. We have a fireside chat today that I'm super excited with. I'll let my guest introduce herself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Shaina Ross. I am a senior program manager on the Amazon's Black Business Accelerator team, also known as BBA.
This has been a long time coming, Shaina. We've been planning for this, and I'm just so excited. We've talked about so many other things, and then we were getting ready for this, and I just thought this is just going to be so much fun because you're so much fun to talk to, and I'm excited for our audience to learn more about BBA. But first, I want them to learn about you. But before that, for everyone out there watching, we are recording this on the first day of Prime Day. So this is a huge day for people who sell on Amazon. And when we were talking about doing this fireside chat, I said, I know I am shopping hard for a pool robot vacuum thing because I bought this house that had a pool. I didn't buy it because of the pool. I bought it in spite of the pool, but cleaning it is a big problem. And they make these little tank like rolly things and they park themselves in the shallow end. And so that's what I'm shopping for Prime Day. But I'm wondering, Shaina, what you're shopping for on Prime Day.
Well, Liz, like you said, I'm coming to you live from Prime Day on Ground Zero, and I am actually expecting a second child come September, which super excited about, but quickly realized that I don't know where all my stuff is for newborns. So I have been on the hunt, building lists within Amazon for those big ticket items that are going on sale as of, this morning when I woke up. So we're looking for pack and plays, we're looking for strollers, you name it. I am on the hunt during Prime Day. So very, very excited.
That is so exciting. It's been neat too, shopping pre-Prime Day and seeing that like there's a deal coming. Get alerts if you want to know. But I've never noticed that before. I don't know if that's new, but that's been super special this year.
Totally agree with you. Like being able to proactively build the list and then track. So I knew it was coming. Actually talk to my husband about some of those purchases I'll have to explain later. Super helpful.
Why are all these boxes on the front porch? Well, Prime Day.
It's where I
work. Yeah, I'm just doing my job here. Well, me too. We support Amazon sellers. It's fun too because we manage so many cool brands that I've been looking at our brands, and like who's got sales because I have a huge wish list of internal people that work with Takeometrics of stuff I want, and I don't want to, you talk to a brand and they're like, oh, I'll give it to you. No, don't give it to me. Let me buy it. I want to support your business. Small business badge, and it's all good stuff. So yes, we're kind of e-commerce nerds, but that's why we all get along. All right, I'm going to put you on the spot. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about your background, your hopes and dreams, your favorite toppings for pizza, your favorite color. Just tell me all about you first.
How much time do we have, Liz? I would love to. No, thank you for this question. Yeah, so I have been lucky enough, and I will focus on work. I love pepperoni pizza, specifically Donato's. If you visited Columbus, Ohio, it is the birthplace of Donato's pizza. Chef's kiss. But I will focus on my career. So I have been lucky enough to work in the social impact space since I graduated college at the University of Central Florida. And one of my first jobs was community organizing, that buzzy word. But really what I did was I brought together community leaders to advocate for the change that they wanted to see in their local communities. After doing that for a couple years, I worked in the mental health field, working specifically with adults suffering from various mental health diagnoses and helping them navigate the resources within their community to improve their lives and trajectory. And in that process, I worked in that space for 3 years. We would do intakes, and literally almost every conversation I had about my client's childhood really derived around there really wasn't much to do after school, got into some trouble, this led to this, right? Sort of the compound effect of what happens for youth that live in an under-resourced community. And so I did a lot of reflecting, recognized that I was really kind of addressing the symptoms, not the illness, and looked to pivot to focus on that preventative work. And I was lucky enough to find a role at a national nonprofit, that leveraged soccer for social change by specifically providing youth in underserved communities with access to a positive, caring adult, all of the great life skills that come with playing sports, as well as regular physical activity. So that is how I really kind of focused on that preventative efforts. And so I spent 9 years at this sports-based nonprofit. I developed tools and resources for community-based organizations to leverage soccer for social change. I brought together community leaders to share best practices and network with one another, and really saw firsthand the impact that providing under-resourced communities with access to tools and things that they typically don't have access to can result in sustainable positive change for that community. And ultimately, the power of bringing them together goes well beyond anything that I can do there. So that is kind of my background.
That's amazing. I won't go on a rant. I could about mental health care. But that's tremendous work. And I think about what you do now and how sort of the work you've done previously is relevant to that. So you're the program director for Amazon's Black Business Accelerator, also known as BBA. Tell me about how that program came to be, and then sort of tell me how you came to lead that initiative at Amazon.
So I am actually a senior program manager. I won't take the credit of the program director. And I help contribute to our awesome efforts. So Amazon's Black Business Accelerator was launched in June of 2021, really looking internally and recognizing that there are unique societal barriers that are specific to the Black business community. And so Amazon did the work and invested $150 million to explicitly address those societal barriers for things like access to capital, networks, right, professional support, as well as financial literacy and education, right? And so that is how it came to be. And since launch has really driven to create tools and resource specific for the Black-owned business community. And so, as I mentioned, I loved what I did. I played soccer my entire life. I believe in social impact, so I really felt good where I was. However, I had a colleague that actually left the foundation and came to Amazon's Black Business Accelerator shortly after launch. And she told me about this incredible program that, as you mentioned, really kind of did something similar to what I was doing, right? Which was explicitly addressing barriers, unlocking access for under-resourced communities, and ultimately creating sustainable change through that process. And recognizing the breadth and depth that we could reach through BBA, specifically with Amazon's engine, as well as the incredible innovative minds that exist within Amazon, it was really, really hard to ignore that, incredible initiative. And so lucky for me, in December of 2021, a position opened up. And by February 2022, I was lucky enough to join Amazon's Black Business Accelerator, but specifically on the benefits team. So what we do every day is we look to understand and recognize the unique barriers facing Black-owned businesses. And we either look internally to create tools, resource supports to address those barriers to help them achieve sustainable growth, or we partner with community-based organizations and like-minded entities to remove the barriers for them to access tools and resources to address those barriers. So it's really, really cool work, constantly learning and innovating on behalf of the customer.
I know you and I had a call not too long ago where you were diving into different tools that Amazon sellers use and trying to understand to like be able to communicate the provider network, which is a little above and beyond, I think, but I really awesome. And I really enjoyed that conversation. And that's how we sort of got interested in let's explore this program further. So you talked about access to capital. You talked about a couple of things. What's sort of like the whole picture of things that a participant in the program will have access to?
No, that's a great question, right? So we really truly believe that the true impact of our initiative is not just in a one-size-fits-all benefit to address the barriers that I mentioned earlier. It is a combination of tools and resources, a multi-pronged approach to get at those societal barriers. And so we really think about it through three buckets. As you mentioned earlier, we focus on financial assistance. So we provide grants to eligible sellers anywhere from the $5,000 to the $25,000 range to help them reinvest in their business and do what they need to accelerate their growth. We also provide specific credits to help them get started and accelerate their business selling with Amazon. That ranges from a $500 startup credit to up to $3,000 in advertising credits, right? To improve their A+ listings, to improve their discoverability and all the great things that we know happen to grow their business selling with Amazon. We also focus on business education. So we provide live webinars to support sellers in every stage of their business to either get started selling on Amazon or enhance their Amazon stores, as well as on-demand education that can be accessed through Seller University and Amazon Small Business Academy. And then finally, we look at marketing and promotional support. We understand the importance of discoverability. And so we work with these businesses to feature them in campaigns. We have the Black-owned business badge. You mentioned earlier the small business badge, but the Black-owned business badge also helps customers like ourselves identify Black-owned businesses that they're looking to support to align their shopping with their social purpose needs, right? As well as the Black Business Storefront that features Black-owned business every single day, a one-stop shop to be able to shop products from these incredible Black-owned businesses enrolled in BBA.
We're going to link to that in the show notes too, because I think that's an amazing resource. So tell me about some of the participants and particular success stories you've seen from these amazing offerings that the program has.
Yeah, no, thank you. The Black business community is incredible. We have, products from a literal banana holder to shoestrings to products to preserve your shoes, right? Like sauces, food, skincare products, all of these great entrepreneurs looking to leverage entrepreneurship to create generational wealth. It is incredible. And one of my favorite success stories is Lilies of Charleston. Have you heard of this product before?
Usually.
They're delicious, right? I am not a cook. My husband uses their products almost every day. My 3-year-old even eats them. They're incredible. But a little bit about Lilies of Charleston. So they are truly a family-owned business. They started in Charleston, South Carolina, through their restaurant in 1985, where they bottled their hot sauces and barbecue sauces and spices. And these recipes were from their great aunt named Lily, oddly enough, who derived her recipes from the Gullah community in South Carolina. So it really goes back into the roots as deep as you could possibly think, right? And so through that, they have, again, hot sauces, barbecue sauces, they've got rubs. They also have recently released a popcorn with various spices where they incorporate their rubs. I know this is hot off the press. You have to check it out. Yep. Add to cart, Liz. Absolutely delicious. And so Tracy Richardson, who is the co-founder along with her husband, has actually said that, being a part of Amazon have helped them become a really national brand, right? So they were doing really great locally, but they connected with Amazon and FBA and specifically BBA, which has really helped their national footprint and drive their growth, right? So through FBA, they're able to leverage Prime, which we talked about earlier, to get their product directly to the front steps of folks like us that are across the country, aren't in South Carolina, that want to enjoy their incredible product. And then through BBA, they were able to increase their brand awareness. They were featured in multiple marketing campaigns that really helped them grow their reach. And they were also able to access a dedicated account manager that helped address their day-to-day account issues, as well as obstacles they were facing selling with Amazon, and really help accelerate their growth. So that is one of the, many success stories that we hear. But again, I cannot recommend Lilies of Charleston's products enough.
I like the all-purpose sauce.
Yes.
And I have some vegan friends, and that's kind of crucial because it's really hard to find sauces that don't have, that are vegan friendly. And I'm not vegan, but I try to keep, I have gluten-free relatives and that kind of stuff. And like finding stuff that's good, that tastes good, that makes good, is a good ingredient for things, but is also compliant to people's specific diets is awesome. But I like all of their products and I'm going to be shopping for that popcorn. So how does somebody get started with BBA?
That's a great question. The first step is to access an Amazon Pro seller account. From there, you also need to be a product-based business, right? Sort of obvious with Amazon. And then on top of that, you need to have a verified minority-owned business certification from a third-party provider. Now, if there are obstacles that you face to access those, at least two of those three eligibility requirements, we have a solution for that. We have a partnership with Supplier Gateway where we're able to provide you a credit to obtain a third-party minority-owned business certification for 3 years. So we can work with you to address that barrier. And if you have trouble affording a pro seller account through Amazon, we actually have a $500 startup credit that I mentioned earlier that you can leverage to get your pro seller account and ultimately become eligible for the resources through BBA.
That's so cool. So there's so many great benefits in place. I'm going to put you on the spot and ask what's next. I mean, obviously you've gotten a whole lot in place, but it's Amazon and it's a great program within Amazon. So I know there's a roadmap. So if we can have a sneak peek into that, that would be super cool.
And we're acutely aware and obsessed with learning from our customers, and those are specifically Black-owned businesses. And so we are constantly iterating and innovating on their behalf. So there's a lot that we are doing to improve our financial support, our education, as well as our marketing and discoverability opportunities. One of the things that we're really hyper-focused on as well is digging in on our ability to create networking opportunities for our Black-owned businesses. We truly recognize that the power of this initiative, it lies within the Black business community and the sellers that are engaged in BBA. And by providing them opportunities to share amongst each other, their best practices, their obstacles, their learnings, to troubleshoot the issues that they're facing, will really create that sort of self-sustaining community that lasts well beyond anything that BBA can do. And so we are hyper-focused on creating virtual opportunities for networking, as well as in-person opportunities to bring these sellers together, and really catalyze our impact through networking.
That's awesome. So Takeometrics, if you're new to a Takeometrics Fireside chat or webinar and have not met us before, we are a service provider for Amazon sellers and we do advertising optimization. There are lots of service providers in the Amazon space. As you know, you can go to the App Store, you can see a whole bunch of us, but you and I had a conversation about what Takeometrics does so that you could, and you had a lot of those conversations. So you met a lot of service providers, but from a service provider perspective, what can we do to help support this program?
I love that question. And I also want to thank you again for the time that you let me pick your brain about the awesome work that Takeometrics does to help sellers expand with Amazon, because we know that your tools and tools like yours are incredibly valuable for all Amazon sellers, but specifically Black-owned businesses selling with Amazon. And so the way that I like to think about it is, right, so many, like you said, there's an entire industry of folks looking to support Amazon sellers. And so they are creating tools and resources to help businesses accelerate their growth. So that is a massive first step, right? The next step is really thinking inwardly and thinking about what barriers exist in which Black-owned businesses may not be able to access what you're providing, and then removing those barriers, whether that be a paywall, whether that be proximity, maybe what you're providing isn't in a space where Black-owned businesses can access it. Really think critically about what those barriers are and work to remove them, because Black-owned businesses would benefit incredibly from having access to tools like Takeometrics and other awesome service providers that aim to help them, increase their discoverability, their A+ listing, their advertising, acumen selling with Amazon. So there's just a lot we can do together, because we know that we shouldn't do this work alone and we can't do this work alone. It will take working with folks like yourselves to really bring our resources together, leverage our superpowers, and catalyze our impact. Excuse me.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So any service providers that are watching, take note, and we should all talk about that. One place that we talk about that type of thing is at industry conferences. And I manage events for Techometrics, and I'm in heavy, like 5 different at once. Oh my gosh. But it made me wonder what industry events you plan on attending for 2023 for all your new and existing fans out there so that they can see you in person.
Liz, first off, let me give you kudos for managing multiple events. Events are like my favorite, but most like anxiety inducing things. So kudos to you. And as I mentioned earlier, I am expecting in September, so I will not personally be anywhere, but my colleagues are running fast and furiously to show up at these events. And one of the ways that we do that is, as I mentioned, is where we go to where Black-owned businesses are, right? And alongside that, we are celebrating our 2-year anniversary of BBA to coincide with Black Business Month in August. So you will see us popping up at events and really increasing awareness for the Black Business Accelerator and providing supports directly to Black-owned businesses where they gather and where they are. Some events include the Black and Ecommerce conference that's coming up in August. And then you will also see us at, of course, Amazon's Accelerate conference in September. I know I'll see you there, but you also see BBA's presence there. And we're bringing together 150 BBA sellers to leverage all of the awesome things that are happening during Accelerate, right? The workshops, the guidance on how to grow their business in Amazon store. But as I mentioned, we're hyper-focused on networking opportunities as well. And so we're going to also create opportunities for them to share amongst each other to grow their network and create lifelong connections that hopefully and ultimately will result in the growth of their business.
We will, until it passes, also put a sign up link to Accelerate in the show notes, because it is going to be, I mean, last year was the first in-person Accelerate and it blew everybody's mind.
Incredible.
Nobody expected it to be, I mean, I guess Amazon expected it to be, but I mean, from a service provider perspective, we didn't know what to expect and it completely blew us away. It was a fantastic networking opportunity. There was tons of great education, and to have Amazon on the floor there, you know, Amazon has booths. You can talk to real people. You can get real answers like on the spot. It was just an amazing event, and I can't wait for it this year.
Yeah, it's only going to be better. Like, we had Venus Williams last year, if you can remember. I actually got to meet her, which was incredible. But it's only going to get better. And we learned from all of the great things that happened last year and where we can improve. And so I look forward to that conference come September 11th to 14th.
Yep, it's going to be a good one. Well, Shaina, this has been, I just don't want it to end. It's been so much fun. We're going to put some resources in the show notes. If you're watching this and you find that you have questions about the Black Business Accelerator to Amazon, we can put you directly in touch with Shaina and her team so that you can get answers. If you want to sign up for the program, we will provide any resources you possibly need to do that. We're going to put a link in where you can call me up, connect me on WhatsApp, whatever, but let's make something great happen together. So Shaina, thank you so much for spending some time with me today.
No, Liz, thank you. Not only do I enjoy your company, but I am incredibly grateful for the opportunity to talk about BBA, to get the word out there, and to continue to partner with you to address the barriers that Black-owned businesses face to accelerate their growth. So thank you for this opportunity, Liz.
Stay tuned for more information. And if you have any questions, reach out. Thanks, everybody.